specialist here at PureLink, alongside Keith Frey, who will be joining in and giving some additional anecdotes, who has been here a lot longer than me here at PureLink. So we will be able to give you just a general summary at first of the company and who we are at PureLink, if this is your first time ever hearing of us, and then diving in deeper into our control automation software and hardware. So to start, as mentioned, we have 6 brands here at PureLink. Starting going left to right, we have the Media Access brand and Pure Media. Those are our scalable matrix switchers. So Media Access is now part of the Max 2 brand, which has any sizes from 20 by 20 frames to all the way up to 288 by 288, which is the largest in the field, cross-platform matrix switching. So HD-Base-T, HDMI, SDI, DVI, fiber. Pure Media, same thing. That is part of our PM matrix switchers, which are also scalable and custom ordered. Pure Stream, which is our AV over IP line. So that offers a lot of solutions for your AV over IP needs. iCON, which is what we are going to be getting into today, which is our control and automation hardware and software. HD Tools is more of our solutions for extenders or more point-to-point technologies, so mostly extenders and converters. And then Total Wire is some of our top-of-the-line wiring brands and cables. So these are just some of the brands that PureLink has a partnership with or have our technology in. And this is a slide that we are very proud of here at PureLink since we've started back in 2002. And for a brief synopsis of that history, our CEO, Minsu Park, started PureLink as a solutions for the first ever HDCP matrix switching. And since then, he has come out with product after product, year after year of just problem solutions. And we like to consider ourselves problem solvers. And our little tagline we like to say is we are the product that's around that you've probably never heard of before, but we are in these well-respected areas. But as you guys came to this today, we are here for the iCON Easy Control line. So for all those that don't know, the iCON T10, which will go through the full product line of what comes with the iCON hardware. This was the 2024 Best in Show at Infocom for sound and video contractors. So this was all inclusive of the touch panel, which you see here, which is our conference room setups that we had programmed alongside the software that goes into it, featuring easy language, the industry's easiest programming language, and the first programming language that just allows you to write in basic English. So we will go fully into all of that and how the front end and back end works of this product. But just to give a note of another example of PureLink's abilities to be the first in the field and the first to kind of fix an issue that had been a problem going on for some time. So the key features guide, iCON Easy Control offers the industry's easiest programming language, easy, which is what I just explained there. With simple clicks of your mouse, you can create a vast majority of your program, affording you the fast completion of a program. So because of the ease of reading it and the drop-down options that we allow for you to program it without any prior programming knowledge, just as a little behind the scenes, I had very little to none programming experience before I was given the opportunity to learn easy language. And through just the handouts and calls with Keith, who is the other member of this call here, I was able to get to the point where I was programming several projects. And I have full confidence to say that anyone in your field, or if you do not have it yourself, you would be able to at least understand the basic concepts of this software due to the easy control. Alongside the simplicity of mouse clicking programming, the ability to use English language and translate it to JavaScript, which we'll explain in some of the pictures later, makes it easy and saves you time and money. And to make programming even simpler, Easy Control guides you with pop-up suggestions and error recognition, taking you right to the line of code that needs revisions. So this allows a stop before you upload to a project and potentially mess something up in your entire setup. iCON does not allow you to see those problems come to light or get stuck in any issues down the line. It allows you to get easy and understandable error messages that can quickly resolve your issue before it advances into a bigger issue. And then lastly here, coupled with the innovative programming interface and language, iCON is the suite of hardware products that can be mixed and matched to fit the exact needs of your application. So while we have the drivers and all the backend coding built for all of the PureLink equipment, we are also able to work with you and offer pre-sale engineering and post-sale support for any third-party products that our iCON products could be controlling once we get it in the field. So here are some of the pictures of our products here, and we'll go one by one through all of them. But in the iCON line, we offer 5 modes of control. So control via LAN, COM, so RS-232, 422, or 485, IR, relay, and digital I/O. And as we mentioned previously, we will get into the software and the user interfaces throughout. So the first product we have here is the iCON T4W. It's a 4-inch double gang mount touch panel with integrated controller. So as you see here, it is the touch panel alongside the processor in the same unit. On this product in particular, there's one LAN port and one RS-485 port with a RS-232 adapter included with the purchase. And this can work as an interface for the iCON C8 master controller, or the project, I should say, can actually be run through the touch panel itself, and it is PoE. Alongside that, this is the iCON K10D. This is another double gang box mount keypad and rotary push button with a dial for integrated controller. So instead of the interactive touch panel, we have buttons that can be programmed alongside a volume dial. And as you can see on the back here, this is also PoE and has LAN communication alongside 2 RS-232 ports, 2 relay ports, 1 IR port, and 1 digital I/O. This can also work as an interface for the iCON C8 master controller, which we will get to in a later slide. And you can add the iCON E4 or E1 to provide additional I/O ports. Next is the iCON T10. This is the 10-inch touch panel with integrated controller. This is used more on a tabletop. And similar to the T4W, this is the front interface alongside the processor built into the back of it. That includes one LAN port, which powers it on as well via PoE, and an RS-485 port with that RS-232 adapter included. Similar, this is the iCON T10W, so this is just the wall mount version, but again, a 10-inch front touch panel with one LAN port and one RS-485 port, and the gang box is included. And now the iCON C8. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This is the master control processor that has all the ports you could imagine, but is also scalable by either combining multiple or adding some of our port expanders, which is the iCON E4. But what is included in your C8 is one LAN port, 8 RS-232 ports, or as you see there, multiple port options for 422 or 485, 8 relay ports, 8 IR ports, and 8 digital I/O ports. So this will be the master control processor for bigger projects, especially if you want to have some of the previously mentioned touch panels to be the interface for this processor. If you need additional ports as well, however, if you are just running things through LAN control or all connected to a network switcher, you would be able to use either or for your entire project. However, this just gives another amount of flexibility for how big you can scale your control project. And this is the iCON E4. So this is the port expander for any iCON controller. It includes one LAN port, 4 RS-232 ports, and 4 relay ports. And this allows the expansion of any of the previously mentioned controllers, whether, and we'll get into the actual specifics of how it's read through the software, but it can just be as mentioned, a relay to communicate to more devices if the project you're running is too big for the C8 and its available ports, or if you just want some additional COM ports to be controlled all through your T10 or T4W or something that only has one RS-485 port. And lastly, this is the iCON E1. This is our newest addition to the iCON line. This is another port expander, but obviously a smaller one than the E4, but the main difference in it is the one IR emitter. So as you see here, there's one LAN port, one RS-485 and 232 port in the 5-pin Phoenix, one digital IO, and one IR. Now, let's take a look into the software that comes with your iCON purchase. This is what we call Easy Control. The fastest coding to completion with human readable coding is what we call easy. Or it allows you to do Java as well, which we can get into, but it would just be with the selection of the button on the top. But as you see the lines here underneath the touch panel in the top right corner of the screen, that is the human readability that we talk about. So it is showing an example here of a conditional statement based on the response from the RX string of whatever device you're trying to control. It allows you to just have drop-down menu options to be able to fill based off of the criteria that the iCON software will allow you to do. So basically, whatever you program it to do in terms of communication, in terms of actual device control, or just some user interface options to show the status of certain buttons or the sizing or anything else that you could imagine from the front interface as well, alongside the actual commands that are being sent to units in your setup. So we will go through, and once I'm through with some of these slides, I could actually show the software and some more examples of that. And again, if there are any questions as I continue to go, feel free to ask or show it here in the questions tab. So just continuing on, here's another example now. If you look on the left here is an example of how you can switch the commands to JavaScript. So this shows how it's written, and it also includes those pop-ups, as I mentioned earlier, that will finish your sentences or tell you the criteria you need to try a specific command through JavaScript, alongside how it would look in English. And if you were to build it out here on the right side of the screen, so with the call driver, for example, of sending the TX string to the PS610, you would be able to press a button and it will automatically translate it to JavaScript. So this is a better example of it here, where if you look back on the previous slide, so it started by sending a command to the PS610. This is just how it would be written out in our JavaScript, that it can be understood in the same way, shape, and form through the iCON software. And this is now going into some of the components that are used in the front interface for our touch panels. So a multitude of options for easy graphics creation and components, whether you're talking about just simple buttons or toggle buttons, or we also include, as you see here with the lighting and audio examples in another one of our projects, there are slider options, there are live updates that you can receive based on the response of the unit, whether you want to know the percentage of power being distributed to something or the audio levels. It will can be auto changed alongside just changed with the slider function on the front interface. It also comes with templates. So for everything you're seeing in these slides or several other projects that we have already built in the past, we save easy to use templates that we would be able to share with you, alongside being able to create you your front interface with the pre-sale engineering that would come with any purchase. So if you know exactly how many devices you want to control, if you're trying to control a video switcher, or in a conference room, for example, you wanted to control the camera, the display, and you were able to give us some of the details of what devices they were, what you wanted them to do, we would be able to build you at least the template for it, or we can go as far as fully programming it so that it is ready out of the box to be put into your setup and plug and play. But you can also, while you're building it, save your own templates, which you see some examples here in the templates tab next to the components, which we were just showing before. And there's a lot of different customizations you can make to the individual buttons or other components of your front interface. So this is the full drop-down menu here that will be given for every button, alongside naming it and giving it a tag or group number, which allows you to send a command for multiple buttons under one group or one tagging. You can change the sizing of it, give it different statuses, so off or on for toggles, or you can create your own statuses if the active, normal, or disable 3 options that come with every single button isn't enough and you need more, alongside changing the text and having all of these be dependent on specific statuses of the devices. So we use this very often, for example, for the video transmission status of some of our AV over IP equipment. So since you could run AV over IP throughout the entire building, you were able to see on your touch panel the status live updates of every single decoder in your setup, all from the touch panel. So instead of the UI designer page, which we were for those last couple of pictures, now this is the second of the 3 sub pages we have in our software, which is the project manager. So this is the ease that you will start your project with if you do want to start from scratch and decline our offer of pre-sale engineering and you want to go for it yourself. We have videos to go alongside what you would exactly need to do, but as you can see here, it would be pretty self-explanatory to start your own project, have your devices saved to your computer. So if you are the one building a lot of these programs and projects on your own, you can set up the connection configurations of specific video switchers or cameras or displays or whatever you're trying to control, or even room functions like lighting or HVAC. You can easily categorize them, save them in your computer, and then be able to reference them in multiple projects, or just have all that backend already done for you by the time you begin. That's on the right side of the screen. And on the far left side of the screen is your driver and device organization. So for each specific project, this is where those items will populate, and it will allow you to add as little as 1 or as many as you could imagine items to your project, and keep organization of when they were added, the last time they were updated, the driver they're using in case you need to change or replace any aspects of it. Alongside in the middle here, which will be running through your central processors. So in this example, it is an iCON T10, shows you exactly how many connections you have via Ethernet, via COM ports, which is good for that organization when you're doing your wiring or cabling throughout your setup. Gives you the latest updates on what is or isn't connected based on the way that you have them set up through your project. In the center here under properties, it will give you all the information of your central processor. So there's another listing of the T10 and its IP address. And it also gives the scan option, which is the refresh button here on the right of the IP address, that allows you to scan for any iCON devices that are on your network. So you can ensure that you are on the correct subnet mask and default gateway to be able to communicate with it before you start building your project and try loading it. And it also gives you access directly via the gear icon next to the search to pull up the web GUI for any of our iCON devices. And then on the bottom here, you see the console and problems. The console just allows you to see all live updates from any button pressing events or timer scheduler events that are going on in your project, and just see the latest of any communication coming from your central processor to the devices and vice versa. And the problems tab is what we talked about earlier, which is our easy debugging option that allows you to, or excuse me, it doesn't allow you to go about your project if there are any errors that would prevent it from running properly once uploaded to your touch panel. So that gives you the option to go directly to the line of code that is improperly being read, whether it is JavaScript or easy language. And as we mentioned, because of this simplicity and ease alongside the pre-sale engineering that we do for you and the possibility of creating drivers so that you don't have to worry about the API if you know exactly the device you're trying to control, we give you several options so that you are basically able to learn how to code your project or have your project already done via day one. And we will also be here for you, myself personally, alongside the other members of our team who know the coding software inside and out and will be able to help you with any issues you are experiencing with your setup, or if you just want to know if something is possible before you go through the thought process of trying to figure it out, we can give you advice and give you what we've seen so far as we try to build up as many example projects and cookie cutter projects that we would be able to send to you and be able to let you customize for your own setup on its own. As I mentioned, we have a video line of how-to videos on the PureLink YouTube channel that we are going to be able to send to you if you have any questions about just the simple starts of setting up your project and how to add it and how to download the software, to some of the more advanced aspects like adding multiple touch panels to one C8 or daisy chaining multiple C8s together and having one truly be the main processor, and anything else that may come up in your easy control journey. And we would also offer the ability to come in and do an AnyDesk session to be able to see what might be going wrong. And even though there might not be an error on your iCON problems tab, it would still, if something were not happening or going the way that you would like for it to, we would be able to hop on a call with you and figure out where you were going wrong in your code. And lastly, just to talk about our test drive. So this allows you to try any of your PureLink products for 30 days. So that includes this iCON control software, or if you wanted the full setup. And I'm gonna kick it to Keith in a minute or so just to talk more about potentially the Push Go initiative we are running now. And we actually have a webinar coming up on that in 2 Wednesdays from now, the 23rd. That is another example of just that, the ability to try out some of our products and see the ease of the plug and play control options. So we have 5 packages that we would be able to send to you for your conference room, scaling in terms of how much control are already pre-configured into them. That would be a great test drive if you were to be able to see if this would work for you, see if you like it compared to what you might be already using, or if it's the way you desired it for a new project potentially. But the test drive itself goes for any of the PureLink products, whether it's just one of our point-to-point HD tool options for your current configuration, or if you have a whole new project that you weren't sure about what direction you wanted to go, we would be able to guide you through what products we would be able to fulfill for you to get you to as close to done as we can. But at that point, I will again leave it open for questions in case you weren't able to get it in when I was on that particular slide. If you need me to go back to any slides, I will also allow Keith to chime in if he has anything to add here.
Thanks. Mostly what I would add is, I think as Tyler's pointing out, is our 30-day test drive program. This is a way for you to really put to the test our products in your own environment and really see for yourselves the ease of programming and implementation, and also the durability and reliability and many other advantages that iCON brings to your project. So we would really just, there's no harm in sending in a request to get one of these touch panels in your hands, and we'll work with you directly and personally to help you in any way to determine how this fits your projects, and also to quickly ramp you up to be able to use and apply them. So just really encourage you to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and then just to double down on what he's saying and allow any other questions to file in, but the test drive can obviously be for a full grouping of PureLink products to keep things consistent, but as well if you just wanted to take in a touch panel and see how it would work in your setup and already, even if you already have a controller in your setup, if as long as you were to give us the devices you're trying to control and allow us to some time to be able to program our touch panel so that you could just plug and play it into your current setup, just to see the direct comparison and take something in risk-free and be able to send it back after 30 days. If it potentially does not do what you need it to do or whatever it would be, we would still just be happy to do whatever you need for that setup and just be as upfront and show you the comparison in the best example that we can.
Thanks everybody for your time. Again, if you don't think of questions now, you can always email us at any time. And if you have projects in specific you want us to talk about with you to see if this is a good fit, we're happy to do that. Also, following us will keep you informed of the latest and greatest. Of course, if you go to our website, you can sign up for emails, but here you see a number of ways to sign up. I would highly recommend LinkedIn. We do publish news just about every week to all of these channels, but LinkedIn would be a great way to stay in touch with what we have going on. So thanks for your time. We've got obviously future webinars coming up, as Tyler mentioned, so please come to those. And we look forward to working with each of you on your projects. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you again. These are our social media pages, as Keith mentioned. Obviously talked about LinkedIn, but also YouTube as well. We have videos coming out for our iCON line alongside other products. So you can see sort of the simplicity of those setups as well, or some of the frequently asked questions for them. And we will end you with this slide here, just any ways to get in contact with us. So if you, like Keith mentioned, think of any other questions that have come since when you're just sitting with the information from these slides, or you want to know some specifics of the products we offer, you can see the sales@purelinkav.com email, and then Keith@PureLinkAV for more of a technical specification question. He would be your guy. And you could always find us at purelinkav.com. But we look forward to any potential opportunities to work with you in the future. We thank you for coming to this webinar today. And I will keep the webinar open for just a few more minutes in case there are any last minute questions, but that does conclude this iCON Easy Control webinar. So thank you for being with us today, and we hope to be in touch with you soon.